Hello everyone, and welcome to the sixth part tutorial of how to model the studio microphone. Now this part I will dedicate it for basically showing you a walkthrough of how and what I did in order to make this studio microphone render to rendered as it was, so as you seen in the pictures. So let me first open the file. And don't worry, I will go through each step that I've made here, so just be aware of this and try to follow and copy the same things I've did in order to get the same results. So let's start with our microphone net. Okay, at the fifth part we actually deal with it, but we just did a minor thing, and I did some extra job on it, so I will show you what I've done. Basically I will copy this, okay, and over here, and let's say these were Lambert, okay, even before what was in at the fifth part, okay. So what I've done is I right click on both of those, add, okay. Basically I hope you are not that retarded, but those should be there. I just brought them here so you can manage to work with it. So right click, assign new material, choose mental array, and my material X. This is what we've done in part number 5. Then I came to, sorry, one second. Okay, sorry. So we've had this Maya Material X and shader, and we clicked color, and we simply assigned this texture that I was giving you a link to it on the fifth. Okay, I have some noises here. Okay, sorry, again I had to pause. So we added this, I added this texture, and then in order to make it look a little bit more like this, what I've done is I picked those two, okay, and I went over the material here, okay, and basically before all of this, grab everything, okay, and just go over edit and delete by type history, okay. That will put everything in easy for you to understand what's going on here. So for each object I have here, I have tabs, okay, through the attributes editor. Now if I catch only one object, then I will have maybe less tabs here, but if I will catch two of them, so I probably will have few more extra tabs that belongs to this. Now these two objects sharing the same shader, and this is the shader tab for these two objects. So what you do, you click here on this arrow here, okay, and then you will get these two tabs, and this tab here is basically the node that's controlling how this texture will be sitting on top of your object. So what I've done there, I simply came to the repeat UVs, and it's like taking the texture and stretch it a little bit more and basically make it tinier, but stretch it through many copies in order to get this result, okay. So this is what the repeat UVs is doing. It's basically repeating the same texture and giving you more texture to this, more coverage, and it looks like this and not bigger. So this is the first thing I've done, and then I came to the create UVs, and I used the spherical mapping presets, okay. All of these are presets of how to lay UVs. So I clicked on the spherical mapping in order to try and smooth this texture the way it sits on top of this two objects. I found it more easier to work with presets and try them before I'm going into manually setting UVs. So for objects like that, it's always easier just to try and do this that way using those presets. So now I've done this for this one, but I also want to do this for this one, and I'm not sure that right now it's perfectly sitting on top of each other, but sorry, as you can see, it doesn't work for those two pieces because they are separated, so you will have to do this for each one of them and basically try and set the UVs as much as good as you can. Okay, I will have to pause for another second, sorry. Okay, so I'm back, and after I set those UVs with spherical mapping, at the fifth part I didn't really saw any reason to basically use those gadgets of the spherical UVs. Okay, so I basically try and leave them as they are, or maybe I did stretch them a little bit, but you can play with this gadget that appears when you click on the spherical mapping UVs and try basically to set this texture to look a little bit more natural, and so the coverage of it will be even for each face that you have on your object. After this, it's very simple. You first unselect anything you have selected, and then you choose both of them, okay, or maybe one of them, okay, and here at the same shader you have this down here at the same shader tab, you have this bump feature. So what you do, you come here, click on overall bump, okay, choose file, and basically you turn to this tab, file 6, and load the same texture again as a bump file, and the bump actually will bump all the white areas on this picture a little bit out. Okay, basically this is how it works. You see this icon here, all the things that are white basically pop out, and the black stays at the same level, flat. Okay, so if you have any whites in this texture, so everything will be bumped out. So this is what I've done in order to bump this out and make it a little bit more realistic. Now here you can choose how much the bump will appear. So basically for this thing, 1 is kind of okay. Okay, I didn't try other settings, but 1 is okay for the bumpy path. But we have one more problem. If you click here on the bump to the this icon here, so we have this bump, you see this is the file 6, so this is the bump, okay, tab, and you click on the place to the texture, so it's the same node that's controlling how the UVs will lay. So for the bump we must change the repeat UVs, okay, to 5, to the same values that we entered for the texture itself. So now they are sitting on top of each other, the bump map picture and the texture picture. They are both the same, but they weren't sitting on top of each other the same. So right now we set them to do so. I will show this through the Hypershade rendering editor, Hypershade, and let's expand this window a little bit so we can see what's going on here. Okay, so this is our material. Okay, this is the My Material 6, and as you can see, when I click on it, I have the file 5, which is the texture, and the file 6, which is the bump map. Okay, so we use the same texture, but for each one of them we needed to enter the bump, the place to the texture node, and set the UVs to the same values. So basically what you do, you grab this, okay, and you click on this arrow here, okay. 1 second. Okay, so this is the basically the shader and all the shader network that connected to this Maya Material 6. This is exactly what you see here, but with a little bit less detail. Okay, so this is the Maya Material X shader, and this is the Maya Material X shader. Here you have the bump map, and here you have the texture. Okay, so for each one of those we have the place to do texture here. So you can click on this and see the values here for the texture were 5, and here we just set them also to 5. This is so the coverage, as you see it on here, will be the same, and they will sit perfectly on top of each other. So this is what I've done, and you can basically, if you are a little bit confusing on how to work with these arrows, you can also come to the Artcore shade, choose your material that you work with, click on these and see the shading network, and that way you will have a little bit more control without getting confused on what you're doing. Okay, so this is it for this shader, and what I've done with the base shader here is pretty simple. I will just copy this and do the same what I've done there. So I'm bring this over here, and I will apply a Lambert, so it will be like it was at the beginning. And then what I've done, I was right clicking on it, assign new material. You don't have to do the Lambert, okay? It's just for a purpose of this tutorial to show you through the beginning what I was doing. So you click on new material, Maya Material X, you choose. Oh, shish. Okay, sorry. I didn't copy it, so Control D. Sorry, and bring this here. And let's say this was like it was before I was putting this texture. And what I've done is grabbing this, right click, assign new material, and assigned a new Maya Material X. This will name as okay, it doesn't matter right now, but what I've done, I came here to the this material, click on this checkered box, file, and then I had texture that I had in my computer. I will give you a link to it, so don't worry. Let me just find this silver texture, this one, okay, and apply this. Okay, so this is how it looks. Now the thing is that this thing here should be with cylindrical mapping, okay, but you will have to create the UVs, to lay the UVs for each one of them separately. Okay, so cylindrical mapping, and try and grab this gizmo and pull this, so you won't have any, these issue with the texture. And also grab this piece and create UVs. Maybe try spherical mapping at first. Yeah, this one is okay, and I've done a little bit more work on the lay UVs. I had to adjust those gizmos and everything, but after this I will show you what were the values for this material. So the reflectivity, after I've set the UVs, the reflectivity of this were 0.222, glossiness 0.399, and this is pretty much it for this texture. Okay, then I picked those. Let me just see that I don't making any mistakes. Okay, so I picked those, and I thing that I'm using right now, the chrome material. Okay, so basically what I've done was grabbing all those metal objects here in the scene, all of those, okay, and Control D, let's duplicate it and bring this here so you can see this like it was your own model, and then right click on it, assign new material, My Material X, and then through the My Material X tab of this new shader of this objects, I came to the preset, choose Chrome, and replace. Okay, so this is it for all these metal materials. Yeah, I forgot some of them. And then I came and chose these. Okay, assign new material, My Material X, and through the preset I went over the rubber and replace it. Okay, so now I have a rubber for those stretchy things here, and that's all good. Now for the lights, we have 2 area lights here in the scene and 1 spotlight. Okay, so basically for this spotlight I brought it here like so. You see, this is the view, and through the back a little bit. So what you do, you create, go over create light spotlight and press T while it's selected, and you pull this spotlight. Sorry, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, this gizmo here. Sorry. You grab this light, and while you clicking on the T letter, basically it creates this gizmo that you can point over this microphone, and then whenever you move this light, it will always point to this microphone, to this target area. Okay, so this is what I've done. I just brought it here, and you see on this original spotlight we have this kind of plane here. So in order to do this, what I've done was, I will just show you the settings for this. So this is the settings for the light. The intensity was capped on 1, the cone angle was capped on 40, and by the way, let's look through it so you can see all the microphone is perfectly on this circle here of this view of the spotlight. Okay, so this is how it should be. So when you put this spotlight, make sure that you look through it and you have perfectly all the microphone inside this circle, and the cone angle will be 40, and then you expand the mental ray area, click on area light, and keep the settings as they are. Okay, and this is white color. Okay, this one, the spotlight. Then I came and create area light, okay, with intensity of 0.500, and the color was like this. You click somewhere on the blue color and grab this little square here. No, just click somewhere here to get this kind of color, some kind of a purple bluish color. Mental ray, you changed the light, you basically upgrade this light to be a mental ray light by clicking the use light shape, and rectangle is the default setting. You choose high sample of 16 and high sample limit of 16 and low sample of 8, and that's it. Okay, by the way, to create this light, you first go create light and area light. Okay, so now basically when I press T, I always will have this gizmo here that pointing to the target, but if you switch to move tool, you can grab only this, and then you will have to look through it and, you know, adjust it by bring it like this through this angle. Okay, but it's better to use the T. I don't know, I like the T feature, so press T and get those 2 gizmos and work with them. Now this is for this light, so let's go back to the other light, which is this one. By the way, you see where they are. This is the other area light. Create another area light, and with this one I brought this intensity to 0.300, and I use light shape, okay, and same values of high sample 16 and low sample of 8. Now this goes to both of those lights, okay, only for those two. But this light down here, the blue one, I unchecked the emit diffuse, okay. So basically I don't want this microphone to be more lightened with by emitting the diffuse color of it. So I turn this on. I have enough emit diffuse through this light and through this spotlight, okay. But remember that the spotlight is not has no upgrade. Oh yes, it has upgrade, but okay, but you know, the emit diffuse is still on and emit specular is still on. After this, what we've left to do is create one more light, which is this one here, okay. This is a point light. You go over create light, point light, and you switch to the move tool and bring this up like so, okay. And I will delete this and just show you what I've done here. So here I brought the intensity to 0.300 and no mental ray setting, so just this value, bring this to 0.300, and I will just give you and I was rendering through this view, okay, like that. The camera was like that. So I will zoom out so you can see where are the lights. Spotlight here, one area light here, another area light here, and point light. Basically you will have 4 lights in the scene, okay. Now for the render setting and for this IBL, so click on this here, and through the render using, choose mental ray, okay. Now if you don't see mental ray, you go over window, setting preferences, and let's see, oh sorry, no, my mistake. You go over window, setting preferences, and plugin manager, and if you scroll all the way down or somewhere here, you should see Maya 2MR. Sorry, for Mac users you will see .bundle, but for Windows user you will see .mll, okay. So both are the same, so just check them, those two boxes here, and close this. Now that you will click on this icon and you open the render settings, you will see this mental ray option in the menu, okay. Now for the common tab, what I've done is I went all the way down and expand the render options and unchecked the default light, okay. Also I chose a preset for the image size that I'm going to render, and I chose HD 720. This is it for this tab. Then let's skip to the quality tab. In Maya 2014, which I'm using right now, I'm first going and choosing legacy sampling mode, and here I type 3, okay. At the sample options, sorry, for the earlier versions of Maya 2013, 13, yeah, and earlier, you don't have to do this, just type in max sample level of 3 and that's enough. And through to the sample options, you go and click Mitchell, okay, you choose Mitchell, and ray tracing. These are the settings for the ray tracing. You click on the ray tracing and all those values, make sure you copy them. And frame buffer, I changed to RGB float 4 multiply by 32 bit, okay. So this will be good quality picture, and it will show your texture a little bit more as it should. So this is it for this tab, but let's go in direct lighting, and now I will show you what I've done here. So basically, by default here in both of those options you will have the create options. So you click create, and when you click create, this is what will create this sphere here. Okay, this is the IBL sphere, and basically on top of this sphere we are attaching a file, a texture. Basically it's not a texture, it's more like picture with HDR. It's like HDR picture, which will give you some kind of a light setup, and should pop out more the metal things that you are trying to, metal shaders that you are trying to attach to the objects you have. Okay, basically this is what it helps, and just giving a little bit more HDR quality to your pictures. So you click on it. Okay, I will just delete it. Yeah, delete it and create it. Now, in my case, I have a problem. I don't know what's the reason for it, but if I was until 2 or 3 days ago, when I click on create, I was seeing this sphere here. Now, apparently, I changed the default settings, and right now this sphere is a little bit bigger than it should. So I'll show you what I mean. If I will zoom out a lot, okay, then you will see this. You see, I will try. Yeah, here it is. Okay, this is the IBL. Now, if in your case you also don't see this, what you do, you click on the outliner here, and you look for the mental ray IBL node. Okay, so if you see it, that means that it's actually in the scene. Okay, but in most cases, I told you, you will see it here. It won't be my case. So you click on it. If you have the same problem, you click on the channel box, and here at the scale values, you can see what's the problem. It is scaled to 21k more, even more, 21,869. Okay, 0.9. Never mind. So basically, what I've done, I came and fixed this by changing all the values here to 5. So you see now this IBL is this size, and I can just scale it to something more of like that. Okay, now basically by default I told you will see this perfectly, so no problem, but you will also see this menu pop out when you click create. You will see this thing here. So you click on the image name and click here, and you should see, have on your computer an HDRI map picture. So I will give a link for package of no, basically I won't give you a link. I just tell you to go to Google and try to Google HDRI map studio. Okay, so you will have picture. Try to look for pictures that looks like, sorry, one moment, take me a little bit of time to find this. Okay, so okay, so you will have to find picture that looks something like these pictures. You see, I have these, but you can use others, more of like these. See, strange picture like that. It looks with the blacks and gray and white. This will perfectly fit to this. So try and find those. Google it again, HDRI Studio pictures, and you will see plenty of those. Don't worry, just download it and then click here on this folder icon and navigate to this file. After this, you're pretty much done. All you left to do, I think, is to turn on the final gathering at the render settings in the indirect lighting, and you can maybe bring up a little bit the final gathering to 500 on 250, but I was using 100. Okay, and final gathering quality, the filter will be by default on 0, so change it to 1. And that's pretty much all I've done in order to get this result on the picture you saw. Okay, this result, see? So one more thing I wanna tell you is that, again, on this thing here, you see, when I applied this texture that I provided you, you see this kind of a line, bright line here that goes through here. I was trying to avoid seeing this. Okay, basically it's a circle texture that goes all the way circles, and I was trying here to somehow smooth this by playing a lot with the UV layout presets. Okay, those, the spherical mapping and everything. But the best solution that I can provide you is to grab all these lower parts of the microphone. Don't forget that you have also a screw here and stuff like this. By the way, the screw could be chrome material also. But yeah, we did the rubber, so you don't have to do this all over again. Some of the things that I've done in part 5 was okay, so except the things that I was talking here, don't change all the rest. It's not much. So basically try to stretch this texture so you won't see it like it looks in this example, more of like stretching it so you won't see this area when you, from the angle that you choose to take the render from. Okay, so this is it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me first go and open this scene all over again. Sorry. Present files. Okay, don't save. Okay, so oops, I think I saved it somehow. So you see, this is the original file. This is how it looks. Also, this is how what the HDRI picture that I chose, HDR Studio picture, and with the 4 lights I will take a render just so you can see how it looks. Okay, I will pause for a second. Okay, so as you can see, it took 2 minutes and 27 to render this out, and this is how good it looks. At least this is my opinion. And this is how it went out, and basically these are all the correct values that I showed you. I have a few more things to say, so quickly let's do this. Whenever you create material, okay, remember I told you to grab everything in the scene, all the objects, okay, and go over edit, delete by type, and history. So then when you choose an object, you will have only the main tabs for each one in the attribute editor. So you see I'm clicking on this one, I see all the tabs that belongs to it, and clicking on this one and see all the tabs that belongs to it. So the Maya Material X, you can always come and choose to name it here. So here, silver, okay, let's say silver chrome, okay, I don't know, for this color. This is the mic nat, like microphone nat, I don't know, something to define this and know better. This is the rubber, so let's call this rubber, and I'm not sure that this is how you call it, yeah, this is how you write this. So that way you will have a little bit more control over your shaders, and also when you click on the window rendering editor hypershade, then you will see all those with names. You see the rubber named as rubber, and you can come to the mic net and click on this, and you see everything here. So you know this is the texture for the mic net, and that's all. I hope you understood this tutorial. I hope it was easy for you. I will also provide a link for at least one more HDR picture, so you can use it, and that's it. So for this tutorial part and the rendering part, I hope that this covers everything, and also we will continue on modeling this, so just be patient a little bit and we will continue this, create the stand and everything. I just need to find time to record this, and that's it. So see you until the next tutorial. Have a good day and enjoy. Bye.